What's going on, everybody? It's Luke here again. I'm going to bring you another interesting video. I'm going to give you that. It's not going to be that enjoyable in terms of fun or like some amazing hidden stuff. It's actually going to be about something I just discovered to do with inventory, and it's showing on different marketplaces as a different amount. Now you might wonder, what do I mean? Okay, so I was going through every so often. I will clear my items. So you can see here, it doesn't. Some of this I'll probably sort of hide, but I don't really care about all of it, to be fair. And a lot of it I don't sell anymore, so that's fine. I just wanted to give you like an example. But these are obviously you get it here, manage inventory. So inventory, manage inventory, and it will give you every product you've ever basically added through your catalog. So when you create a shipment, you add your products and so on and so on, and they'll all be recorded in your catalog, even when you sort of run out of stock here. But it will always sit in the manage inventory. So if you add that, let's say, a product over the year 3 different times, you create and you add it a new one every time, rather than going over here, because you can just go over here and go to the send replenish, or you can create again. It would basically just duplicate it. Here you can see this item has been duplicated this here 3 times. Or so, is that the same item? But anyway, there's at least twice. It doesn't really matter. It's just that if you are, a little tip though, if you already have some left on this one, like 1 in stock, and then you create a new listing, you actually will show up twice on the product listing. But what happens is one of the listings will go to the very bottom. So it will basically, so that you're not next to yourself in the list or the buy box. It will basically have 3. Say you've got 3 on this item here, and then you've got 4 on this one. The one that's at 4 will literally go to the very bottom. I mean, when I bottom, I mean it will go to like the last seller. So you know, when you go down, it's like 50 quid, even though this item's worth £12. Obviously, it's normally a merchant fulfilled, and it's just a random listing that's obviously there. It'll just go there until you've sold out of the sort of the cheaper one. Maybe you've got one that's a little bit cheaper, or it will just choose one, and that one will sit at the back and wait for the other one to sell out, and then it will go back into kick into action, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah. But what I do periodically, I will go through and I will cleanse or clean my products. Now I've already done it for all of my marketplaces. Yeah. So the reason I do it for all the marketplaces is basically, you can see here, this is the number of products or the number of lines or listings I'll have going down. Over time, over the years, you'll build up a lot of random crap, because you might just sell an item like once, and then you don't sell it anymore. And what happens is you do get notification for products that have been basically taken off Amazon for product restrictions, if they've got some chemicals inside the item and that they're like banned. And you should go in, you get a notification to say delete the listing. Basically you'll get an email, and you have 24 hours or 48 hours to go here and click this delete product and listing. So what I'll do, and I would and what you learn over the time, you sort of get used to the products that you feel comfortable selling or not selling. So you might hear rumors of certain brands like L'Oreal, for example, giving people product warnings, or like it's just weird like policy warnings or trademark, or all these like things that you just hear through the grapevine as if you're involved in the Amazon community. So I will go through periodically and delete any products that I'm never going to sell again, because maybe it was just a one-off, or products that I don't want to sell again because of that sort of thing. So there's a lot of The Ordinary brand. I was selling tons of it. But when I was, basically I was just talking about something at one point, and someone mentioned that sellers have had issues with it. Now I can sort of see why. It's sort of like a private label brand, The Ordinary, but it's not. So because obviously private label can be like, obviously Disney products are private label because Disney owns Mickey Mouse and they're creating Mickey Mouse as private label. So I can create a brand, create a random character, create a product. That's still private label, even though it's not the same as what we sort of attribute private label to. But you get what I'm trying to say. So it is difficult to say. But in beauty, obviously, there's more brands that aren't as well known, and maybe they're trying to keep it the control, even though they're not really private label as such, because you can go to they're being around, they're big companies, but they're not like the huge brands. Are sort of slightly less The more sort of like they like to, basically like they like to control their brand basically. So I'll go through and periodically just go through and delete, and you can actually do it like this. You click the tick here, you just basically go through, tick the ones that you want, and just go down and down through all your items, and then you can go up here, delete products and listings, and then you can click yes. And then it's basically, for me, it's just I now know that I haven't got any listings that are going to potentially cause problems. And yes, I don't know what products are going to cause problems, but over time you sort of get a feel. You might notice that some items, so over time, for example, some items actually change. So you might actually go on this item now and find out that it's not the same item. I know it's weird, it does happen. Someone changes the listing to a completely different thing. I don't know why, how, what, when, who, and all that, but they do. I found an item today. It didn't have any information. So as I was going through this list, it didn't have any information here, and I was like, why is it blank? Like no here, and went on it, clicked this. So the item here looked like this item. Went on it, it's not this item. Went on it, and it was a completely random item, like a private label product for someone. And I was like, fuck. Like, hang on a second. Like, if this person finds out I have this listing, like, listed, which I don't know if they can, I don't know how it works, but I've got the listing on my account. It looks like I've sold it at some point. And I'll go, so I'll obviously, even though nothing probably is going to happen, I'd rather remove the possibility of it maybe happening. Like, why flirt with the line when you can, you know what I mean? That sort of thing. And it doesn't take that long, not really. It's half an hour. And you only have to do it like every 3 months or every 6 months or however often you want to do it, basically. But I'll go through and purge all the items so that I know that all the items I'm comfortable with that are left in the catalogue. And a lot of people don't actually do this and they just leave it. But it's just the little things. It's like maintenance, I just feel that for longevity of an Amazon account, it's better to be safe than sorry, because you know how harsh and random and just crazy Amazon is in some ways, that you really need to be a bit more proactive than reactive or whatever. Now, the whole point of this video is I went through, so another tip as well is you have to go through all of the marketplaces separately. Now, if you get a product removal, we have removed this ASIN, please, you might not have seen them, but you would have seen them over the longer you sell on Amazon, you probably will see it at some point. You'll get it'll just be a notification saying product removal. They removed it because it has some sort of a chemical in it, if it's beauty product or health or safety. And then it does say, please delete and remove all the listing and recall all your stock if you've got any left, like basically removal order. But you have to actually, so when you would do that, you then go and delete product and listing. That's how I do it. So I've got that. If I get that notification, I go down here, click this, great. But you also have to go into all the other marketplaces, okay? So you have to go up here, the bit up the top where you drop down and you go to the other Germany, France, Spain, Italy, and you'd have to go and do exactly the same inventory manage thing and delete the same item. So just type the ASIN in this box and it will come up. So you got to be careful with that. But it means that when you're doing this cleanse or whatever you want to call it, like where I'm deleting all the listings, you have to go into every country. Now, this is what I noticed. Now, this is my French listing, whatever, like marketplace. Yeah. Now, you can see here, it says inactive, which is fine. Now, I obviously know the items I buy and sell and when I sell them. Yeah. So if you go onto this, we'll see what it is. Yeah. It's basically SMA Pro Follow. Was it first? I don't know. Some milk thing. Yeah. That's the crappiest keep I've ever seen. It's irrelevant what it is anyway. And so I know this picture because it's pretty much the same picture on all marketplaces, so I remembered it. And I looked at it and thought, what? Oh, no, I need to go back, and I'm not going to be able to, am I? Hang on a sec. Oh, I don't need to. Okay, sure, no problem. So I was moving. It's got like a little timer to show how long I'm doing the video for, and it gets in the way of things sometimes. So I was like, hang on, 9? And I clicked here, it says available at 9. So it's not like in reserve or Now, I'm going to basically show you. This is it, and this appeared in every single marketplace. So if I go, it went into the Germany one, and I went into the Italy one. It all the entry here all says I have 9 in stock, because it just copies it across all marketplaces. So this item will show up in in all the different marketplaces, yeah. And this item, and this item, and this item, and it will the value here will be exactly the same across the markets. Well, let's have a look at this then. So I typed the ASIN in. It doesn't exist because, well, I assumed and I thought I sold this item about 6 months ago. Like, I haven't had this item for maybe 6 months. It'd be interesting. Maybe I can actually find. I'm not going to go onto my purchase sheet right now because you'll see everything. But it'd be interesting to see when I actually purchased it. Now I'm thinking, like, what? So this is like I know that I pretty much either don't have or something's happened to it. Now, so why is it now that this product and also so I'm oblivious. So then I thought, hang on, why the hell is there 9? It's somehow showing in all the Europe and not in the UK, even though UK is the hub. And yes, you can go and delete it. So it's possible. Well, at some point I must have gone and deleted it. Yeah, because it's not showing. So obviously, if I went here and said this one, delete products and listing, obviously I still have 9 in stock, but it would this entry would not appear. So when I type it up here, and obviously did that, it would not. Oh, it's automatically loaded me back. Oh. Ah, that's really interesting. So I've just typed that ASIN in now, and it's actually coming up as not being there, which is bizarre because you just saw it. But you get what I'm trying to say. Something's not work. Something's wrong here. Something somewhere's wrong, yeah? And now what happens is when you delete these listings here, so when you actually go to that thing I showed you and said delete the listing, it wouldn't just disappear. This 9, the 9 of that item, of this item, would actually appear probably if you click in here, down here. I think it actually comes, I think this is like suppressed inventory, or it might even be in unfulfillable inventory. Basically, it will appear, you'll find some reference, because obviously you need to keep track of things. Yeah, sometimes Amazon, like, the listings get changed and figured out, but it will just go somewhere. So it'll go into like a not able to sell. Sometimes you get a couple of different versions of this. This is normally when people, like, you get returns, and it can't be sold, so it just goes into here. But basically, there's a way to figure it out, and I'm thinking, what on earth has happened? So I checked across all the marketplaces and actually found that this item was across them all. And then I found that there wasn't just that product. I found about 5 products where I've got stock, but it's not on my UK. It's not showing anywhere in my UK inventory. So it's not coming up in here. It's not coming up. I tried all of them. I went in here. I went in here. I went in. Basically, I just went to wherever. The problem is you can't really, once you delete something, it only really shows up in basically in here. So the real way you can do it is by going to sort of down here. There is another way, but you'll basically have to go through this way. So in my mind, I was like, well, okay, what the heck? So either I have the stock and it's not visible to me, and maybe I need to recall, because I'm basically thinking about recalling it, seeing if it comes to me, because all my stock should be held in the UK. It shouldn't be held anywhere else, because I'm EFN, European Fulfillment Network, not the Pan-European. The Pan-European is where you've got to register. Basically, they'll ship stock to a German warehouse, and your stock will sit in the German warehouse or the French warehouse, just like it does with them, like in England with them at the FBA, and then it sells, and then it'll get shipped. And then because it's going directly from there, you get like beneficial buy box, and you get like or the fees are less because it's going from that country, rather than getting European fulfillment networks getting sent from the UK to Germany to France, rather than going there first, sitting on a shelf in Germany, and then going to the customer. But that means whatever country you sell, it's not just Germany, France, Italy, Spain. It's like Belgium, Poland, because obviously all those other European countries buy from. There's only like 5. If you think of it, Amazon's everywhere, but actually a lot of the countries are buying from another country. So you'll see on invoices, you see Cyprus, Romania, like Malta, you're basically seeing like all of the European countries buying from Germany, France, Italy, Spain, UK. So whatever country they go to, you've got to then register for VAT in that country. So imagine like 23 European countries. Is there more than that? I don't know how many there is. Like, buy from those 5 main marketplaces. Well, then you've got to register for 27. You've got to pay VAT to 27 different like countries. And yeah, it's like the most ridiculous amount of paperwork, because you've got to do tax returns for like 27 times each quarter or whatever, 23 times each quarter in their language. It's not like you can just go on to like a UK and then pay to those countries. You've got to actually do it all through an accountant. It's just a nightmare. So that's why, and if like HMRC find out that that is it, you'll basically just get slapped with, well, you'll probably get like a norm. What would happen is you would get you get investigated by those countries. I don't know how it would work exactly, but you might go to court or something, or it's Europe, because it's obviously all in Europe at the moment. Don't know how it would work after the Brexit thing, but whatever. Now, so I found out there was multiples, and what that made me start thinking is that, well, I'm never going to see it in the UK. Everyone will go into the UK, and this will be how everyone does everything. So how much stock do I have hidden from me? And is it even real stock? If I recall it, so if I go to the German website and try to recall it, will it come to me? And then can I send it back into the UK? Just like add a new shipment. You see what I'm trying to say? So I'm now going to do tomorrow is I'm going to go through all those items. Well, I've actually sent an email to see about what the hell's going on, and they're probably not going to be very useful because they never are. Worst case, I'll withdraw them all to me, see what the hell comes back, and then probably try to ship it back in a new shipment, and hopefully it will check in the UK and it will go across all marketplaces, but then it will actually be on the UK marketplace and not hidden across all these other countries in some barren wasteland of the managed infantry in France or Germany or whatever. Yeah, and it's not loads. It's like 5 or 6 items, but the fact is that they are there, and it's not just one item. Makes you think like, how many other people, you know? And you normally any issues with stock in that. Where I do my inventory adjustment report every week, and where I get reimbursements every week that Amazon don't give you. They should give it to you automatically. They don't, because they just don't want it or something. So you can basically do that inventory adjustment report. I always do it every Monday and then they basically just give me some money, more times than not, for something they haven't given me back, which they should have. Anyway, I'm going to end the video there. Why don't you go and check yourself and see if you actually maybe have some items. You know, not everyone's going to know what you should have in your inventory, so it will be dependent on that. But you should be semi-familiar with what you have and what you sold, and what you and how long ago you bought something. You know, like you can do 30 grand in sales, 40 grand in sales, and you're still probably going to know what you have roughly in your mind. It's just, if not, do some comparisons and figure it out. Or look for that inactive thing that where you saw it says inactive here, status, but you can see quantities and stuff. But go and check out yourself, see if you can find anything. I don't know, maybe you will, maybe you won't. Smash a thumbs up, subscribe, comment if you've got any questions, because it's actually really like weird and interesting. I'm always finding new things with Amazon, like, oh, that, like the amount of things that I just like in my mind of just random things that I've built up over, like things I've just found, or whatever you want to call it. Found is just like ridiculous. But anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed the video and you can go and check it out yourself. So a bit of fun there. Hopefully, well, I don't know, record it yourself if you want to sell it on eBay. The problem is you've got to see how old the items are, because you don't want something that's been there a year, you know. But anyway, have a nice evening. Happy Friday for tomorrow. I'm going to be bringing out like about 4 more videos this week, because obviously where it's been Easter, wow, something's wrong with me. I think I'm having an aneurysm. Where it's been Christmas and New Year's, obviously I've only bought like 1 or 2 videos in the last 2 weeks. So I'm going to be smashing some more videos in the next couple of days. I'll try to bring one out every day, basically, for the next handful of days, on some quite cool things I've got in the pipeline. And actually, one of them's very closely related to this, what I found out today. Not exactly the same. It's actually how to find really good, profitable products from it. And it's really weird how I found it, figured it out, just thought. But it's really cool. So yeah, that'll probably come out tomorrow anyway. Enjoy your evening. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Smash a thumbs up, subscribe. What else do people say on these things? Smash that little bell notification thingy if you want to be notified of all the videos that come out as and when to be the first to watch my videos. But yeah, have a good evening and see you later.